1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. In just 30 seconds, a gunman murdered 9 people and left 37 injured right here in Dayton, Ohio. In just 30 seconds, police took down that gunman, saving hundreds of lives. And in just 30 seconds, you can call your elected representative and demand they do something about this. In the gunman's arms, a .223 caliber rifle with 100-round drum magazines. Look at this photo. This is from Dayton Police. Because while the purpose of this device is to maximize harm, 9 lives, 30 seconds, it is a testament to law enforcement that he did not kill what I've heard the mayor estimate, hundreds more innocent lives. The investigation in Dayton is constantly updating. This is what we've learned just in the last little bit. The gunman arrived in this neighborhood with his sister and what police describe as a companion. And while the shooter and his sister separated at some point, it's unclear whether her killing was actually intentional. Now, the gunman's companion is still in the hospital with a wound to his lower torso. We're told he is cooperating. Authorities believe he had no advanced knowledge of this attack. Dayton Police Chief Richard Beal just revealed more details about what he found right here at the scene.
If all the magazines that we recovered from the suspect were completely full, and we have not had a chance to examine that, we just know we have magazines with bullets in them, but if all of those were completely at full capacity, including the loose rounds found on the ground near him, as well as in a backpack that he carried, he would have had a maximum of 250 rounds in his possession at the time. We can confirm at least 41 spent shell casings from his weapon based on their location and his path of travel.
Chief, can you talk more about the acquisition of that firearm and your thoughts on your citizens owning such large magazines?
Yeah, it's problematic. It is fundamentally problematic. They have that level of weaponry in a civilian environment, unregulated, is problematic.
Fundamentally problematic, he says. Yet when the President of the United States addressed the nation for the first time since both shootings unfolded, he used the word gun only once. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley is with me. And Ms. Mayor, thank you so much for spending time with me. I am so sorry about what's happened here just in the last 24, 48 hours. I want to begin, though, with, I don't think you can underscore the point enough that hundreds of lives were saved because of your police team.
Absolutely. The heroic nature of Dayton Police continues to amaze me, and Saturday night was just the latest example. If you did the count in that period of time, they were just right over there. Because we have lots of people here on Saturday night, just having a police presence, we think that's good for the community, and for them to take action and run towards the shooter. 5 of these officers have only been on the force for only 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so
how are they doing?
I'm going to call them this afternoon.
Yeah.
I think that, we automatically put folks on administrative leave when we do this process, and we've been following our process there, but the chief tells me they are doing okay.
How about, we just cited 37 injured. I know a number of them, some gunshot wounds, some just from running, twisting an ankle, that kind of thing. Can you just update me on, do you have any idea how many people are still in the hospital, extent of injuries?
Yes, we did that at the press conference, and I don't want to give you a wrong number.
Sure.
So it's in the teens that are still in the hospital.
Sure.
Most have been released, and some people had injuries due to being stampeded.
Yes.
You can imagine that shoes were just left on the streets, right? So there's been a lost and found for folks that had just just got their bodies off the street during
And
this process.
can you even begin to answer the question why?
No, I mean, we don't know his motivation yet. The police and FBI are doing that work. The chief said at today's press conference that the initial look does not look to be racially motivated. Honestly, I think we could on this, and we don't have all the details,
Yeah.
but we might not ever really know why.
Yeah.
But what we do know is that a man attained an assault-like weapon gun legally, completely legally, and was able to do this without raising any sort of concern. And that's really my question today. Why do we even have these on our streets?
We showed the picture of the 100 drum magazine, right? I've heard from war correspondents saying that they've never seen them covering war zone. That
Right.
said, the president addressed the nation, and I want to just quote part of him back to you because I want your response, because I know you've said that this community is exhausted by a lack of action, right? And so the president today saying the internet and social media and video games are to blame, and the direct quote is, mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger and not the gun. Your response?
I think the real key is there would be no trigger at all if we didn't have the gun. We're in Southern Ohio. Dayton is in the center, and we have a long history of Appalachian roots in this community. A community that most people do have handguns, and most people do have hunting rifles. That's not uncommon here. So we are not in a place that's
But you want to take
common.
those guns away,
Right. But I do think most of Daytonians today are like, wait a minute, nobody hunts with the kind of weapon of death that is. Or a weapon of war. And we don't need those on the streets of Dayton on a Saturday night. And I don't really know why any citizen would really need this kind of gun at any time.
Here's my last question, because I know or a number of mayors who've suffered similar mass shootings in this country have kindly reached out to you. In a couple of days, we're going to leave, and who knows what will be done legislatively.
Right.
But you may be the mayor calling another mayor in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Have you even stopped to think about that?
I have.
And if nothing is done, how do you tell him or her that it's going to be okay?
Well, I think our communities all come together. And so there's the work of a mayor, which is about bringing your community together and grieving through this process. And so Dayton
But why should it happen again?
It shouldn't, but Dayton will be okay, right? Dayton will come through this tragedy because we are fearless, because we care about one another. And so that's the work of mayors. The sadness is that there has to be another community. And that's where it just seems so senseless and doesn't make any sense. And it really is like, what are we doing in this country?
There shouldn't have to be.
Right.
Lastly, when you heard the president mention Toledo when referring to Dayton, you have any words for the president?
Yeah, all these Ohio cities, they just all look alike.
Mayor Nan Whaley, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to have you on. I'm so sorry about everything that's happened in this beautiful community. Chris, back to you in El Paso.